Red Hulk is now in the MCU, and he's seriously powerful. In fact, probably a true rival to the OG strongest guy in the MCU, the actual Hulk. So today, here's the question on the table. Can Hulk and Red Hulk take down Thanos? Hulk is getting his rematch against the Mad Titan, and this time, he's bringing some backup. So who's coming out on top here? Who wins? Let's find out. Dr. Bruce Banner is a renowned scientist and a leading expert in the fields of biochemistry, nuclear physics, and gamma radiation. Because of that, well, he was one of the scientists tasked with trying to recreate the super soldier serum, the experiment that transformed Steve Rogers into Captain America. Bruce believed the answer lay hidden inside of gamma radiation, but after experimenting on himself, well, the mild-mannered scientist found himself plagued with a peculiar condition. When angered or provoked, he would transform into the rage-fueled and impossibly strong monster known as the Hulk. And yeah, Hulk is crazy strong. That's kinda his whole thing. He's stronger than Thor, even if Thor doesn't really want to admit it. It takes 2 hands for Thor to catch just one of Hulk's punches. And you can't say the same in reverse. Hulk was regularly sending Thor flying all around, smashing up him and his brother. So yeah, Hulk might not be the most popular guy in the Odinson household. And Thor wasn't the only guy Hulk has sent flying. I mean, just ask Ultron how hard Hulk can hit. Just ask Abomination what it's like to tangle with the Hulk. Hulk regularly fought against the military and smashed up all their equipment, all their trucks, their tanks, weapons, and everything. He straight up yeeted Emil Blonsky straight across the yard. Like, holy crap, Hulk will just straight up kill a guy. And I mean, just look at the way that Hulk completely decked a big old giant Leviathan. He did that with just one punch. And the thing is, it's actually pretty consistent for Hulk to do stuff like this. I mean, just ask Surtur. Just look at how he was messing around with other Leviathans in the same fight. He's even so strong, he's able to dent a vibranium wall. The only other guy we've seen damage vibranium with his bare hands was none other than Thanos. So yeah, Hulk is very strong. And on top of that, well, Hulk is insanely durable. I mean, sure, he might have had a low showing against Thanos, but I think that's actually just a lot more impressive for Thanos. Shows how powerful Thanos is, rather than showing off how weak and puny the Hulk is. I also think there's an element of bad writing here, and that's kind of skewed our perspective. Like, let's say that Thanos still beat the absolute crap out of the Hulk, still knocked Hulk out exactly like he did. All that still happens, but then Hulk explodes out of the Hulkbuster at the end of the movie like he was supposed to, absolutely bodies Cole Obsidian, then fights against Thanos again and does better the second time around. Not even saying he wins the fight, just does better. Don't you think we'd all give a little more grace to Hulk for losing to Thanos the first time? Instead, we got this, we somehow ended up here, and since this was the last time we really saw Hulk like actually being the Hulk, left a different impression. Because yeah, like I said, don't let this one thing fool you. Hulk is crazy tough. He's taken tons of attacks from Thor. He's taken tons of attacks from Abomination. Took tons of attacks from Hulkbuster. Acted like none of them really even bothered him that much. Dazed him a little bit, sure, but nowhere close to actually putting him down. I mean, even these attacks from Thor, when he was tapping into his true godhood, like straight up divine power, Hulk was back at it. Hulk technically knocked Thor out in that fight. He fell from like miles up in the air and crash landed. Was knocked out but still survived. Was rammed through like 50 floors and had a skyscraper crash down on top of him. Was only knocked out by a sucker punch. So yeah, I don't think I'm exaggerating here. I want to make sure my point's clear. Hulk is really durable. It's going to be really hard to injure him. End of the day, well, the Hulk is still the Hulk. And that still means something. Still means he's the strongest there is. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was a former general in the US Army, hell-bent on hunting down Dr. Bruce Banner and bringing an end to the Hulk. Of course, going down this path inadvertently caused him to create villains even worse than the Hulk, like Abomination or the Leader, forcing Ross to, ironically, turn to the Hulk for his help to take them down. From there, well, Thunderbolt Ross became US Secretary of State, where he went about campaigning for the Sokovia Accords, an action that ended with Captain America and Iron Man having a big ol' fight and destroying the Avengers in the process. And as if Ross hadn't caused enough problems, well, now he's President of the United States, and he picked up a little anger issue along the way. The type of anger issue that transforms him into a big red behemoth with impossible strength. As a Hulk, well, Red Hulk obviously has some insane superhuman strength and durability. He's tough enough to where bullets simply bounce off of him or ricochet around. He can just stand there through massive explosions. Literally none of the military's weapons could even put a scratch on him. He was really only ever injured by Captain America's vibranium wings and feathers. And even then, well, Red Hulk showed off a fairly quick healing factor, was able to heal up the cuts and scratches pretty quickly. And while he was momentarily put down by Cap's vibranium blast, let's put this into perspective, because it's actually more impressive than you might think. See, vibranium blast can actually do some pretty serious damage to enemies. Black Panther was able to floor Cole Obsidian with a blast, and this Black Panther was able to floor Namor with a blast too, both of whom have been said to be Hulk-level characters. And remember, the intensity and power of a vibranium blast is proportional to the amount of energy that the vibranium has stored up. So while Black Panther was able to knock out Cole Obsidian with just the hits and damage he had taken from the Outriders throughout the battle, it took Red Hulk directly punching Cap's wings, like a lot, to finally, momentarily, knock Red Hulk down. But the biggest thing for Red Hulk is that he is insanely strong, which, I mean, does make sense. He's a Hulk. He was able to tear apart the White House, level the West Wing with a thunderclap, easily smash another part of the building, even tear apart the Washington Monument as he was jumping past. But Red Hulk's greatest strength feat comes from his fight with Captain America. Ross was able to rip apart Cap's wing with just one hand, then crack and crush his helmet, all of which was vibranium, the strongest, toughest, most indestructible metal in the world, before adamantium came around. And Red Hulk is crushing it and tearing it apart in his bare hands. That's some of the greatest strength that we've ever seen in the MCU. He's insanely strong. Thanos, the Mad Titan, the biggest threat to the universe, the Purple People Purger, terror to Earth, and the Avengers and the Guardians and all your favorite heroes. Born on the planet Titan, Thanos saw its days were numbered due to overpopulation. So Thanos came up with a solution: genocide. Completely random and fair to everyone, but half the planet wiped out. People called him mad, but Thanos was like, oh wow, this really worked. Let's apply it to the whole universe. So he went out searching for the Infinity Stones to wipe out half the universe with just a snap. And for starters, Thanos is really strong. Like, really strong. I mean, basically, no one can beat him in a one-on-one fight. A lot of them have tried, some of them have gotten some good hits in, but they've all fallen. Each and every last one of them. Except if you've got chaos magic, I guess, or cosmic powers, or just of a JJ. Those seem to be his kryptonite for some reason. But seriously, Thanos went through a whole freaking gauntlet of heroes. Beat each and every last one of them. He trashed Hulk. Just absolutely destroyed the big green guy. And Hulk is the same guy who can one-shot Leviathans. He can even knock around Surtur when he was the size of a mountain. Thanos beat that guy easy. He beat Iron Man when right before that Tony got hit with a freaking meteor from outer space and didn't go down. He overpowered Thor and did it again and again and again. I mean, props to Thor for getting back up each time, but he was getting beat by Thanos each time. And Thor, well, he restarted the Forge and moved around the rings into the Nidavellir, something that required hundreds of thousands of tons of force and power. Then he fought Captain Marvel, and he overpowered her too, sent her flying. The same girl who could do this. Then when he was wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and I mean, you saw what that thing did to Hulk, right? Well, he was able to hold her back again with just one arm. He tore through Captain America's shield, crushed the Tesseract in the palm of his hand, ripped through vibranium, and plucked the Mind Stone straight from Vision's forehead. Thanos is ridiculously strong. Seriously, you don't want to cross this guy. You just don't. You're gonna get destroyed. And honestly, with everything Thanos has been through, he's almost like more than just tough. He's tougher than tough. He was able to take fire and take explosions, attacks from Iron Man and his repulsor blast, energy blast, and the whole like. Even lightning from Mjolnir and lightning from Stormbreaker. And that stuff can kill Leviathans. It can blow right through Outriders, do all sorts of damage, yet couldn't really damage Thanos. Then he took Scarlet Witch's chaos magic, the same thing that atomized Ultron bots and ripped through vibranium or tear out Ultron's heart. She couldn't really tear through Thanos in quite the same way. And then there's just using the Infinity Gauntlet and performing those snaps. I mean, the gauntlet itself is channeling enough energy where it'd be able to light up a whole continent. Thanos was still able to put this thing on and then go on and continue fighting against Captain Marvel. So it's pretty crazy just to be able to put it on. But it also requires an immense amount of strength to actually snap it. Hulk was the only one who's going to be strong enough to do it. Thor couldn't do it. Captain Marvel couldn't do it. Iron Man literally died when he did it. Hulk was the only one. And Thanos? Well, he did it twice. He was sending out energy surges of cosmic proportions, the kind no one had ever seen before. And while it did manage to injure Thanos, he still snapped twice. He was able to walk right through the Hulk, right through Thor, took attacks from Captain America, from Captain Marvel, from all the Avengers, from all the Guardians, from all of them. Thanos is easily the toughest fighter in the MCU. He's dang near impossible for any hero to put down. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I think it depends on which version of Thanos we're talking about here. Like this Thanos, the one that got curb stomped by Cole Obsidian and Proxima Midnight? Yeah, replace this fight with Hulk and Red Hulk, and they destroy him even more. No doubt about that. So let's really just focus on Thanos from Endgame with his big helicopter sword, and then just a recreation of Thanos and Hulk's fight from Infinity War. Now, Thanos from Endgame, well, that's a pretty definitive victory for Thanos. Hulk and Red Hulk hold the strength advantage over Thanos. The Russo brothers said that Hulk and Thanos were equals in strength. It's just that Thanos was a more skilled fighter, and that's why he's able to clown on the Hulk like that. So, if Hulk and Thanos are even close to being equals, well then you throw in the Red Hulk, who's just as strong as the Hulk, with his feat of ripping right through vibranium, and Hulk and Red Hulk have the strength advantage. But it's not like Thanos isn't strong himself. He was able to tear through Captain America's shield with his sword, then overrided Black Panther's vibranium armor with just one punch. He's still stupid strong. The difference here is Thanos has a sword, he's a really good fighter, and he's really, really tough. And Hulk, and specifically Red Hulk, don't really have the durability to keep up with him. Like for starters, Thanos is a skilled enough fighter to be winning a fight against basically Thor and Iron Man, even though Captain America was also there trying his best to help. We've also seen that he's a skilled enough fighter to beat down the Hulk. So Hulk and Red Hulk aren't really going to scare him too much fighting skill wise. Then you throw in his sword. Red Hulk was getting cut up by Cap's vibranium wings, he was getting pierced with the vibranium feathers. Thanos and his sword might straight up be chopping off limbs. And Red Hulk will clearly be injured. He was cut up and pierced by Cap's wings. But the kicker is Thanos is just way, way tougher, especially compared to Red Hulk. Hulk too, but especially Red Hulk. Like Red Hulk was taken out by being stabbed with one of Cap's wings, having all of his kinetic energy transferred back to him in a massive explosion. While he wasn't put out of the fight for forever, he was knocked out by just that one attack. It's not like anything was really doing all that much damage to him before that. And while you can say that this is actually a really impressive feat, Black Panthers have knocked out Cole Obsidian or Namor with vibranium shockwaves before, and none of those blasts had the power of Hulk punches behind them, I still think a lot of Thanos' durability is more impressive than this. Like, he took every attack that all of the Avengers could throw at him during the entire endgame fight. None of it was enough to put him down. But not even that. Thanos straight up snapped the Infinity Gauntlet twice. And we saw what just one snap did to the Hulk. Even putting on the gauntlet was enough to drop Hulk to his knees. Thanos was able to put the gauntlet on and went on to fight against Captain Marvel. The Hulks might have the strength advantage, but give Thanos his sword here and he's still chopping them up into pieces before they're able to physically overwhelm him and beat him into submission. So let's take away the sword. That's a lot closer of a fight, because on one hand, well, I could still see Thanos using his superior skill and combat ability to keep both the Hulks at bay, end up knocking them out one by one. He was clowning on the Hulk once he began to take the fight seriously. But could also see the Hulk's combined strength just being too much for Thanos to fight against and overcome. As he's fighting against the Hulk, well, Red Hulk is punching him, and when he turns his attention to the Red Hulk, well, the Hulk is smashing him. They just gang up on him and take him down. Could definitely see that happening. But, end of the day, this is still Thanos we're talking about. And if just one punch from Thanos was enough to stagger Hulk backwards, and then Hulk was never able to land another good hit the rest of the fight, well, I still think he could take down Hulk and Red Hulk. It'll be a way harder fight, but Thanos clearly hits harder if he's knocking the Hulk back with just one hit. We've never really seen Red Hulk have the world's best durability. We've already seen him dog walk the Hulk in a hand-to-hand fight. It will be hard, but Thanos should still come out on top. Thanos wins.